Welcome back everyone to another Unreal Engine 4 video, and in today's episode we will be talking about the free content on the marketplace that we have for this month. So I'm already loaded into one of the projects. This is the office scene, and well, the first thing that I can see in this thing is that the textures are super high quality. So if you zoom in on things, you can read all the text, see all the lines perfectly. You can read the names of these books. Unfortunately, all of them are called exactly the same, so that's a little bit sad, but other than that, the textures look really good. So this keyboard looks just insane, and well, the models are looking just amazing. One thing that I noticed is that there's even like these wrinkles on the back of the chair. Not sure, yeah, front also, so that looks really sick. So the quality of these models is pretty cool. One thing that I did notice though is like these, what is this called, file folder. They are from 224 vertices. Essentially this is just a square, and all the vertices are actually living inside of this circle piece right here, because that is not a texture, that is the actual model, and there is like a hole inside of it. So for example, if we would go right here, here is that, and we can just simply fly into the model, and there is like an actual hole in the model. In my opinion, that could have just been a texture and something could have been painted on it, because like, are you really going to see in there that much, especially if you press play? Like, good luck. So that's one thing where a lot of vertices could have been saved, at least for game development. Obviously this scene pretty much looks like it's meant to be for like a cutscene or whatever, because it looks really nice and it's really small. So it's basically, it should be used only from this angle, and you should probably never use it from this angle. So yeah, so maybe if you are really flying really close by for a demo preview, this could look nicer, but for actual game purposes, I don't really see a point in this one. Also, there's no LODs set up for any of these models. So for example, this keyboard right here is 1800 vertices, and if you go away, there is no LODs. Obviously it's not hard to set those up, and my project just froze for some reason. Here we go. So yeah, this is a really high vertice model, and most of those are. Each key is a different, each key is basically a shape. Since I'm a game developer and I make videos for games, I don't really see a big purpose in that. Let me check real quick with this laptop. I think with this laptop they just have painted it on, and it looks good enough in my opinion. So you can see there's no vertices over there, and it looks just fine. So I would personally prefer a keyboard, which would be essentially the same thing as this one, just painted on. But yeah, the textures, as you can see, they look amazing. You can read everything from anything. You can read the names of the books and all of that stuff, so that's really dope. The plants are looking really cool. So the texture side of this is really good. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this scene. There's not a lot in it, a couple of models that you can see here. This week I have no particular order, I'm just opening these up and showing as we go. So this one is really cool because we can learn a lot from this. So the first thing, I recently made a foliage optimization video, but that's when you are like using foliage tool. Like for example, these trees right here were painted with the foliage tool. Also looks like these ferns as well. But for example, here the actual grass itself is generated from the material. So what you can actually do is go to the materials, and then you have the masters, and you have the landscape master material. So one thing that is really key is this blend node, because using this blend node, then you can basically copy the elements layer name and then provide it for the sample grass. You can provide it here in the parameter, and then you can spawn a specific grass type. So over here we have two grass types that are getting spawned based on the texture that you have painted on the landscape. And then you can go in here and add your grasses. So here we have the bushes and the regular grass. One thing that I really like about this is that they have done a really phenomenal job with the LODs, because this model has 3 1300 vertices by default, but if you zoom out, it goes down to 35 vertices, and that's a huge change, and that's going to be huge on your performance on the long distances. This is going to still keep the grass, but it's going to be with very, very low vertice count, and you actually need to get pretty up and close for the grass to fully load, which is very nice. So if we would press play and have a look at this on our own. Now my FPS is bad since my graphics card is not the greatest, and I'm recording as well. So you can see once we are close, the grass looks pretty dope. It's moving and everything. Well, the movement is a bit odd, but that's easy fixable. And once we get closer, we can see that the loading is not bad. Like the LOD distance is really, really good, and the grass is really full and looks very, very nice. So that's one thing that we can learn from this project is the landscape material. So I should suggest you break it down and have a look at it. Also, it has a bunch of medieval, well, basically this is a medieval modular pack, which is grouped, I believe. These models, yep, those are grouped ones. So here actually this way we can see the grouping, how the grouping has been made. So all the separate models, so the doors are separate, and then you have these planks to walk on, and you have these brick fence or brick wall, whatever thing that is. So you can make a huge castle out of this. So if you're like into medieval stuff, and then yeah, this pack is for you. This thing looks really good. And here, as you can see in the meshes, let me zoom this in maybe a little bit. There's all kinds of shapes for the walls. There's like these circular, no, rounded corner ones. There's like smaller, sharper corners. There's shapes like this. So there's all kinds of shapes and forms and things. And if you can't make a castle out of this, then obviously you're doing something wrong. Because as you can see, this castle right here looks really, really great. So yeah, that's pretty much it on this one. A bunch of castle models. And now let's go to the next one, which is the hack and slash FX pack. So this thing right here comes with a bunch of Niagara systems for the particles. I'm very bad when it comes to visual, shiny, cool things. I can't really make any of these, but this thing right here looks pretty dope, and from what I've tried to like kind of reverse engineer, you will not see any changes in this one because this is the actual project that you will download. It comes with a bunch of effects, so the bigger ones, smaller ones, and even tinier ones at the very end over here. But this pack is really, really easy to break apart and try to understand how these effects are getting created. So for example, we have, let's take this one. I really enjoyed this one. This one looks really, really cool. So we have this effect right here. We have these claws, we have blue outlines, red inner parts, and we have an explosion. So let's go ahead and let's try to find this. So let me actually make this smaller. It looks way too big. So we have the VFX Niagara, and then we have the slashes. Yeah, so we have the NS claws. So that's NS is the Niagara system. And here you can see these claws. So let me real quick show particle count. There we go. So we have this thing right here. So we can see this. And let me show you real quick how we can break this apart. So first, if we would go to technically the system overview, but the event graph or whatever, here we have all the emitters that are getting ran in order for this system to work overall. So we can basically unplug different things from this. So for example, if we would unplug some of these red ones, so click this check mark at the top left, you will no longer see any red. It's only going to be those blue claws. Okay, so we have one claw, and let's say we want this one claw to be implemented into something else. Maybe we want to combine this with a different Niagara system, or maybe all of them. Then what you can do is actually right click any of these things, and then you can create an asset from this. And then they already have like the emitters folder, but it's quite empty. There's just a few emitters, and you can save this to be a separate effect kind of. So we have the big system, which will now, again, let me re-enable all of these things. There we go. So we have that back to normal, just the way it was. And then we also have this separate claw thing. So let's say we want to add something extra to this. So you can't really do that in the emitter itself. For that, you need to create yourselves a new Niagara system. So you can just go to the FX and the Niagara system, and let's create one from an existing emitter. And let's say we want to make like these arrow bursts, so we can add a emitter, and you can add more and more and more if you want, or you can click finish and then open it up, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, this is not enough, I want more. So then you can go to your emitters and then add those at a later point, which doesn't work with drag and drop apparently, but you can right click, add emitter, and add any of your emitters to this. So now you will see here's the claw, and here is the other effect that I added. Obviously this looks very bad. These two emitters don't work together, but at least you get the point. And then you can just break apart one of the emitters, change its parameters. There's loads and loads of things to change. I'm not too familiar with this type of particles, but this system will help me probably learn this a little bit better, because there is so much that I can take apart and reverse engineer and try to understand how they made these specific effects. But yeah, if you're making a hack and slash game, these effects might look really cool and shiny, and in my opinion this pack goes really well together with the next project that I'm about to show you. So we have opened the brand new project. It has only one folder by default, but inside of it obviously it has a bunch of them. This project is very, very well organized when it comes to the folder structure. It was very, very easy for me to find everything that I want to find. As you can see here, we have the animations, blueprints, maps, materials, meshes, particles, sounds, and textures very nicely organized. And once you go to the blueprints, again, this thing is really simple. There's like the battle ones, control ones, enums, items, projectiles, quests, skills, UI, units, all that stuff. And probably from what you already have noticed from this folder structure, this thing comes with a lot of things. So basically what Epic Games and this project's creators have given you is a full-fledged game. So for this game, actually, let me connect my controller real quick. So I personally have an Xbox One controller, but this technically was made for the PlayStation. But if we understand the controls, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. This felt very, very easy for me to navigate, even though the icons are wrong. Like this shows X as in the X for the PlayStation, when for Xbox this is A. But it seems very simple. So this guy has a quest, can you bring 10 stones? I'm like, yeah, cool. I have these two bodies running around with me, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, I have 4 in total. So you can go to this menu, you even can hear it has sounds. We have items, quests, we can load game, save game. My controller is a little glitchy, so you will see some of the things going wrong. But yeah, we have the party, characters, equipment. So there's items, you can restore health, equip armors, weapons, and also I have, where is this section right here? So here it is. I actually have 4 units, and I can have there can be 3 characters with me, and this is like a turn-based game. So for instance, we have the respawn after load. Not sure what that is. All I know is that we have aggressive enemies and we have the passive enemies. So let's go over here, let's pick a guy to battle, and I want to battle this guy. So let's go. You can pick a skill. So this one has the focus attack. So let's go ahead and focus the attack. Boom, 1 shot, 1 kill. That was easy. Okay, let's try this again. So there's 2 guys this time. So again, skill, focus attack, and I want to attack. Let's see, let's attack this guy. Here we go, 1 shot, 1 kill. That's exactly what we want to do. Here's the regular attack, which also killed the guy. So I guess these enemies are quite weak. Also, so we can choose to attack these, and then there's this room which I don't want to go into because these are aggressive ones. So once we get close to them, they will instantly initiate the battle. And once the last time I got in there, it was really hard to get out of the battle because they just kept coming and coming until I killed all 3 of them. Also, this thing comes with chests, so we can obtain some items from the chests. We have a locked chest, which we need a key for. Here is this healing altar, which allows us to heal our characters. Easy encounters with timers. Nobody here. Okay. Peace out. Difficult. Okay, so there's nobody as well in here. That's strange. I thought there was someone. And here is a boss encounter as well. So we can walk up to the boss and start a fight with the boss. So he has this cool animation and kind of a cutscene. And this guy can basically kill me instantly, which is very bad because we are going to lose this battle because we needed to practice a little more. So let's try to flee. Oh, and we fail. We got killed. And I was defeated. The game's over. So as you can see, this thing comes with a lot of features. So if you're into this type of stuff, then this is a must-have template because they already have basically built the game for you. You have everything that you need. You can add multiple characters. You can add equipment pieces. There's like the weapons, armors, shields, helmets, boots type of thing. So you can select for every single one of your characters. There's also sounds already included. You have a bunch of items. You have the revive stones, mana potions, health potions, just some random items. So you can see, yeah, my controller is glitching, so you will see all kinds of weird things happening, but yeah, for you it should be fine. It's my controller's fault. So yeah, other than that, the project looks really dope. We can close the game as well, and the folder structure is really cool. Like I said, it's really easy to find everything you need to find. So for example, we have the quest items over here. So we have the collect 10 stones quest that you saw before. So here is this quest. It says the items to collect is the BP stone. It wants you to collect the BP stones. The name of the quest, the description, steps. So basically we need to collect 10 of these. Is repeatable, so basically you can repeat this quest if you check this to be true. Shows notifications. It also has a pre-built system that like requires you to have defeated already the previous quest, and the dialogue system and everything. So yeah, this thing comes with a lot of things. So this thing is not for multiplayer, it's a single player game, but like I already demonstrated to you, this thing has so many features. It's pretty much a finished game in front of your face. You just have to make your own models, add more enemies, create yourselves a map, create yourselves a storyline and that stuff, and yeah, the game is pretty much ready to go. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I know I didn't speak about the thing that you probably wanted me to speak the most about, but I'm gonna have a video on that tomorrow because I'm gonna be creating a tutorial on how do you actually create vehicles with that system. And let me tell you, it's so easy and it was so fun to learn. It took me just a couple of minutes to actually figure out how to make this thing work, because it really is a lot more simpler than it is with the tools that are already built into Unreal Engine 4. And yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you in the next one.